chosen one. Listen carefully. There's a sacred stillness resting over your life right now. It's not the silence of abandonment, but the silence of divine design. Heaven has slowed the noise around you because something is forming beneath the surface. You can't see it yet, but the roots of destiny are expanding in the dark. Every unanswered call, every closed door, every pause, it all has purpose. You may be in that strange place where time feels frozen. Plans that once moved quickly now stall. Conversations fade. Energy drops. You start to wonder if God forgot your name. But He hasn't. He's only preparing the stage before revealing you. The silence is not punishment, it's the sound of construction behind the curtain. Imagine a sculptor standing before a block of marble, day after day. The sound of chiseling echoes through the studio. The marble might call it pain, but the sculptor calls it progress. That's what this season is. It's the divine chisel shaping the masterpiece you're becoming. There was once a young woman, a chosen one like you, who waited years for her moment. She worked hard, prayed faithfully, and still felt unseen. Then came a quiet season. Everything stopped. Friends moved on. Opportunities faded. And she questioned her calling, but she stayed faithful. Months later, an unexpected opportunity appeared from a place she never considered. That pause had not been a delay, it was divine alignment. The same story is unfolding in you. Heaven's clock is never slow, it's strategic. You are being positioned, not postponed. Every quiet moment is a piece of choreography that will make sense when the curtain finally rises. According to the writings of David in the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 14, wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord. This silence around you isn't empty, it's full of movement, like the deep sea before a tidal wave. Something massive is building where no one can see. Don't mistake quiet for absence. God is closer in stillness than in noise. He's not testing your patience, He's stretching your faith. Look closely. You may already see the hints, dreams that feel too vivid to be random. Phrases you keep hearing. Timing too precise to be coincidence. These are the small ripples before the wave. The whisper before the wind changes direction. Chosen one. This is your pause before glory. The air feels heavy because heaven is pressing through. You've been pulled back like an arrow. But that tension is the measure of your launch. The further you're drawn, the farther you'll soar. Don't run from this pause. Stand in it. Breathe. Feel the silence as proof that heaven is working. Even creation had a quiet moment before light spoke its first word. You're standing in your Genesis moment, where darkness doesn't mean death, it means about to begin. And when it begins, it will be sudden. The same people who thought you were finished will say, "How did it happen so fast?" But it didn't happen fast. It happened right on time. So don't quit in the quiet. Don't fill the silence with doubt. Let it strengthen your hearing. When God speaks next, you'll recognize His voice clearly. If this word stirs your spirit, take a moment to like and share it with another chosen one walking through their quiet season. Then comment the number 777 below as your declaration that waiting isn't wasting. It's the sacred pause before your win. Stand firm. The silence is about to break. When the rain clouds gather, it never means the sky has failed. It means it's preparing to pour. That's how your life feels right now. What looks like stillness is only the weight of coming abundance. The heavens are heavy with your answered prayers. You are standing under clouds about to burst with favor. Hold your posture of faith. The downpour is near. Sometimes God slows you down because He's speeding up what's ahead. The waiting room of heaven is sacred. Every moment there refines your character, sharpens your vision, and humbles your heart. Don't rush the preparation. The strength you gain here will sustain you when the spotlight comes. Remember, silence never means absence. It's the whisper of a God who speaks in stillness, shaping your destiny without noise. If you could see what's being built for you, you would rest instead of worry. So breathe again. Stay faithful. Keep expecting. The pause before glory is almost over, and when the sound breaks, it will carry your name. Every quiet second is heaven's blueprint unfolding in perfect rhythm. You are not forgotten. You are being framed for glory. When the silence lifts, the world will finally see what heaven already knows. You've been feeling a strange pull lately, haven't you? A quiet awareness that something is shifting, though you can't name it yet. Heaven's hidden countdown has begun. Every detail, every person, every circumstance, things that seemed random are aligning with invisible precision. What felt delayed is now being synchronized. There is a rhythm in the unseen, like the ticking of a divine clock that never stops, even when you can't hear it. Heaven's timing doesn't need your permission, it needs your readiness. That's why everything around you feels unsettled. When a storm gathers before dawn, the air changes first. The atmosphere tightens before light breaks. That's what's happening inside you. You may think nothing is moving, but in truth, heaven has been calculating every step long before you reached this moment. God never improvises. His timing is perfect, down to the breath. The dreams you thought expired are not forgotten. They are stored in divine sequence, waiting for the appointed hour. There was once a man named Caleb, a modern-day chosen one, who waited years for the promise of owning his first home. Every attempt failed. The banks said no. The timing was wrong. But what Caleb didn't know was that the house meant for him wasn't even built yet. The land was still under construction. When he finally received approval, the property finished just weeks later. Heaven's hidden countdown had reached 0. And everything clicked into place. You, too, are walking toward a convergence moment. The pieces that don't make sense now are quietly locking into alignment. What you think is coincidence is choreography. You can't see the pattern yet because you're standing too close to the canvas. But step back one day soon. You'll see the masterpiece. There's a reason you've been sensing divine tension. Heaven always moves with purpose. The angels are never idle. They operate like a celestial army, following exact orders. Some of your delays are not denials. They are divine pauses while reinforcements take position. Imagine a conductor before an orchestra. Every instrument must enter at the right moment for the symphony to sound complete. One wrong note too soon, and harmony collapses. That's why your breakthrough has taken time, because heaven refuses to release anything half-prepared. Scripture says in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 11, He has made everything beautiful in its time. This is what the countdown is doing. It's beautifying the process. Each tick of heaven's clock perfects the unseen details, the right connections, the healed heart, the closed doors that protect you from lesser things. Every divine delay is a sculptor's pause to refine the edges. You may feel tired from waiting, But take comfort in this. Your time is not slipping away. It's being woven together. The divine calendar never runs late. When the moment arrives, everything will unfold with effortless precision. You won't have to chase it. It will meet you where you stand. The hidden countdown explains why you can't settle anymore. The places you once fit now feel too small. That's heaven signaling your upgrade. The discomfort is evidence of growth. Seeds outgrow soil before they rise. So do you. You might not see the number ticking down, but heaven does. Each sunrise brings you closer. Each quiet night carries weight. The angels already know the minute when everything will shift. You are not waiting for God to move. He's waiting for the appointed second to reveal what's already prepared. So stay steady. Keep doing what you know to do. The countdown is sacred. It cannot be rushed, only trusted. And when it reaches its final moment, it won't whisper, it will roar. The convergence will be unmistakable. You'll look back and realize that nothing was wasted, not a single tear, not a single delay. The timing, though hidden, was perfect all along. When a fruit ripens, it doesn't make noise. It simply changes color, waiting for the right hand to pluck it. That's what divine timing feels like. Quiet transformation. You're ripening for your season. And heaven knows exactly when to present you. Every no that once frustrated you will soon reveal itself as protection. The doors that wouldn't open were never yours to enter. The ones that are meant for you will open without effort, because heaven holds the keys. The hidden countdown is not just about events aligning, it's about your spirit aligning too. God doesn't want you to just receive the blessing. He wants you to become the kind of person who can carry it. So wait with peace. The countdown is almost complete. Soon, what was invisible will be undeniable, and you'll realize every second of waiting was love disguised as delay. There comes a moment when the air shifts, and though nothing around you looks different, your spirit knows something has turned. That's the moment you are in right now, the turning of the tide. The waters that once resisted you are beginning to part, though your eyes have yet to see it. The signs are subtle at first, like whispers carried by the wind. But the faithful heart knows how to listen. You may have noticed how lately, small things have started aligning: a conversation that feels guided, a coincidence that feels too sharp to ignore, a sudden sense of peace where there was once pressure. These are not random. These are the quiet footprints of God moving closer. The tide is shifting in your favor, and heaven is letting you sense the current before the wave appears. There was a man, a chosen one, like you, who spent years feeling unseen in his work. He poured his heart into projects that others took credit for. But one morning, his name was suddenly mentioned in a meeting. He didn't even attend. That mention opened a door that changed his entire path. He didn't push. He didn't plan. He was simply ready when the tide turned. You are entering that same flow. You've been faithful through seasons of drought, and now the rain has found your name. Every unseen act of obedience is returning to you multiplied. What you thought was overlooked was actually being recorded. Heaven doesn't forget. The ancient words written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1 declare, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." End of quote. This is your rising moment. The morning of your purpose is breaking open. It won't be loud at first. It will be gentle, like dawn creeping over a dark field. You'll wake up one day and realize the heaviness has lifted, the doors have opened, and the very things that drained you now draw you forward. When the tide turns, it doesn't ask permission from the shore. It simply obeys the command of the moon. In the same way, your breakthrough is obeying divine command. It will move at the sound of heaven's voice, not man's approval. Watch for these signs. Your discernment heightens, your peace deepens, and opportunities begin to find you instead of you chasing them. Those are the first waves of favor rolling in. Don't second-guess them. Step into them boldly. Sometimes, before the shift becomes visible, the pressure intensifies. That's the final resistance of the enemy, trying to convince you nothing has changed. But remember, just before the Red Sea split, the Israelites heard the chariots behind them. Pressure often precedes parting. Don't let fear make you turn back when freedom is one breath away. You have prayed for this season, endured for this season, and now it stands before you. The tide is turning not slowly, but steadily. The same waters that once threatened to drown you will soon carry you to destiny. Now, pause and look inward. Feel that small flicker of certainty beneath the uncertainty. That is your spirit, recognizing the shift. Trust it. Flow with it. Heaven moves through the humble heart that listens. Comment, "I'm ready." That's more than words. It's a declaration of readiness, an act of agreement with what heaven is already releasing. When you speak it, you step into synchronization with the new current. The turning tide doesn't favor the loud, it favors the prepared. You are that one, the still watcher of the waves, waiting for the signal to move. And now, the whisper has come. Rise, chosen one. The tide has turned, and the waters that resisted you are now carrying you forward. When you type, "I'm ready," it isn't just a phrase, it's faith taking form. Words create alignment. When you speak readiness, heaven registers it as obedience. In the unseen realm, angels move on declarations like these, confirming that you are prepared for the shift already set in motion. Your readiness is not proven by how loud you shout, but by how steady you stand. When the wind changes, many panic, but the prepared simply raise their sails. So, as you declare those words, imagine yourself lifting a sail of faith, catching the wind of divine direction that's already blowing your way. And when that wind carries you forward, remember this: the same God who turned the tide will teach you how to walk upon the waters. You won't be swept away, you'll be carried, strengthened, and established in the very place you once struggled to reach. There is a weight that sits on the soul before the win. It's the heaviness that comes when you've done all you can, and there's nothing left to do but stand. It's not punishment, it's proof that something sacred is being born within you. The weight before the win is not there to crush you, but to carve you. This season has felt heavy for a reason. The closer you are to breakthrough, the denser the air becomes. It's like climbing a mountain. The higher you go, the thinner the oxygen, the more every step costs you. Yet that pressure is not meant to destroy. It's designed to prepare your lungs for the altitude of your calling. What you're carrying is the future, not failure. Every chosen one faces this moment. Even the strongest wrestle here. Think of Elijah, sitting under the broom tree, ready to give up after calling down fire from heaven. Even miracles can feel like exhaustion when you're waiting for what's next. But that moment of heaviness became the doorway to his next assignment. The same pattern follows you wherever weight presses hardest. Purpose is near. As the Apostle Paul wrote in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." Emson, you may not see it yet, but heaven measures pain differently than the world does. Every trial becomes a tool, every burden becomes a blueprint. The weight that bends you now will one day become the testimony that lifts others. There was once a young designer, another chosen one, who spent years trying to make her work seen. Every presentation ended in rejection. She cried one night, ready to quit. But she heard a whisper, "Stay steady." Months later, one of her older designs, long forgotten, was found by a major company. It became her breakthrough piece. The weight she carried in obscurity produced the wisdom she needed for visibility. That is how heaven works. The heavier it feels, the closer you are to being elevated. But this elevation requires strength. A fragile foundation cannot hold a crown. That's why the pressure has been intense, because the blessing will be heavy. Sometimes the waiting season feels like standing beneath storm clouds that refuse to break. You pray, you push, but nothing changes. Yet, in that tension, your spirit learns endurance. Endurance is the language of the chosen. The world craves ease. But destiny requires endurance. You are learning to breathe in spiritual altitude where others faint. This weight isn't a signal of failure. It's a sign that your faith is being refined. Like gold in the fire, the impurities rise only so they can be removed. You're becoming purer, sharper, more focused. The heaviness doesn't mean God has left. It means He's near enough to mold you. The butterfly doesn't fight the cocoon because it knows the struggle is what gives its wings strength. In the same way, you are being stretched so that when you fly, your wings won't tear under the wind of blessing. Every sleepless night, every silent prayer, every tear that fell unnoticed, none of it has been wasted. The wait before the win is sacred. It's where faith grows its roots, deep enough to survive the spotlight. You are learning to carry glory with grace. Look at the lives of those who came before you. None reached victory without the valley. Joseph had to wear chains before wearing a crown. David had to face lions before facing giants. You are not the first to feel weary under destiny's weight. But remember this, those who endure this pressure are the ones heaven trusts with influence. And that's what's happening now. Heaven is trusting you. It's pressing you not to punish, but to prove. When you rise from this, the same strength that carried you through the weight will carry others through theirs. So, don't despise this heaviness. It's shaping your authority. When the wind comes, and it will, you'll recognize it by how light your soul feels. The crown will fit because the crushing shaped your head for it. The weight before the win is holy. Carry it with honor. And soon you'll look back and realize that the pressure wasn't a burden, it was a birth. The weight you feel today will become the strength you teach tomorrow. Every tear shed in silence is watering the ground of your coming victory. Nothing you've endured is wasted. Soon, the heaviness will lift, replaced by quiet triumph. You'll stand taller, lighter, wiser, and you'll finally understand why God trusted you with the weight before the win. There comes a moment when everything begins to reverse, when what was once working against you suddenly turns to work for you. This is the divine reversal. the mysterious hand of God begins to turn the gears in your favor. You don't always see it happening, but you start to feel it. The shift in the wind, the weight in your chest easing, the sense that heaven has quietly whispered, "Now, everything that once seemed to delay you has actually been positioning you." The tears, the waiting, the disappointment, they were not detours, but directions. Life's reversals rarely arrive with trumpets. They come quietly, disguised as ordinary days. You'll wake up and realize that what used to drain you now fuels you. That what was meant to break you actually built your foundation. There's a story of a chosen one named Mara. For years, she prayed for a promotion that never came. Each year, someone else was chosen. One day, after yet another rejection, she said aloud, "God, I trust you even when I don't understand." 2 months later, the company reorganized. The position she had prayed for was dissolved, but a new one was created above it, with her name written on the door. That was divine reversal. What looked like loss was heaven's rearrangement for greater gain. Scripture reminds us through the writings of the Apostle Paul in the book of Romans. Chapter 8, verse 28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." That, you see, chosen one. Heaven wastes nothing. The betrayal, the confusion, even the closed doors, each becomes a seed in God's garden. And when the season shifts, every seed that fell in tears begins to bloom in color. The field of your life transforms from barren to beautiful. Sometimes divine reversal looks like an apology you never thought you'd hear. Sometimes it looks like peace in a place that used to cause panic. And sometimes it's simply the quiet awareness that you're no longer bitter about what hurt you. That's transformation, the invisible proof of a heart healed. This moment in your journey is like the tide turning after a long night. The sea hasn't changed its nature, it's simply responding to a higher pull. You too are being drawn by something higher, something holy. The reversals happening now are not coincidence, they're choreography. And as this message reaches your heart, let me speak something soft but sincere. If this word has touched you, if it has given you light in your dark night, peace where you felt pressure, take a moment to let gratitude flow back. A simple like is not just a button, it's the sound of your spirit echoing, "Yes, I receive this." It's like lighting a small lantern that says to heaven, "This word found me." A share is like passing a torch in the dark. You never know who's waiting in their own midnight, needing this same spark of hope. Your hand may be the one that carries their light to them. A quiet subscribe is a way of saying, "I want to walk together in these divine reminders." It's like planting your name beside a flowing river, so every time new water passes, you are refreshed again. And if ever your heart feels moved to donate, to see it not as giving away, but as planting forward, imagine placing a single drop of oil into a lamp that never stops burning. That oil keeps the flame alive, so others can find their way through the dark. It's not demanded. It's not expected, only invited. Pure choice. A whisper of gratitude turned into action. Mara, the woman I mentioned, said that when she started sowing small acts of kindness, even during her hardest days, something shifted inside her. Giving, while waiting, healed her more than receiving ever could. That's the hidden miracle of generosity. It reshapes the heart into a vessel heaven can trust with more. So, whether you press like, choose to share, quietly subscribe, or even sow a small seed of support. Know this: you are not fueling a person, you are fueling purpose. You are helping light find its way into hearts that have forgotten how to hope. No pressure, no rule, just light meeting light. That's what divine reversal feels like, the turning of all things back toward love. And soon, when you look back, you'll see that every no became your redirection, every loss your lesson, every silence your setup. Everything has been turning toward your good all along. This is your divine reversal, gentle, holy, unstoppable. There's a strange intensity that fills the air right before breakthrough. You can feel it pressing against your chest, whispering doubts, testing your peace. That is the test of last resistance, the storm that arrives, not to stop you, but to prove that you can stand when everything else shakes. It's the final push before the promise, the pressure that separates the almost ready from the truly prepared. The darkness always trembles before dawn. Just when you think you can't take another step, that's when heaven leans in closer. The test you're facing now is not about destruction, it's about demonstration. Heaven is about to show through your endurance what faith really looks like. When a seed breaks open underground, it feels like dying, but it's only transformation. The soil presses hard, the darkness grows thicker, yet within that confinement, life is rising. The test of last resistance feels the same. Everything around you says, give up, but the spirit inside whispers, push through. No, there was once a man, a chosen one like you, who faced this exact moment. He had prayed for direction, but instead of open doors, he met endless silence. Bills piled up, friendships faded. His faith felt dry. One night, sitting in his car with tears running down his face, he said, "Lord, if you're still with me, show me." A week later, a stranger offered him a job that perfectly matched his purpose. He realized that heaven had waited until his surrender was complete before releasing the blessing. That's the secret hidden inside resistance. It exposes what's real. When everything is stripped away and you still choose to believe, that's when faith graduates into power. According to the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." Lo, the battle you're fighting right now isn't just about circumstances, it's about your crown. Every test has an inheritance attached. The heavier the trial, the greater the weight of glory waiting on the other side. But understand this, resistance often increases right before release. It's like the final knot before the rope untangles. You've come too far to let frustration undo what faith has built. Think of an eagle teaching its young to fly. The mother pushes the eaglet out of the nest, not to harm it, but to activate its wings. The fall is frightening, but instinct awakens midair. You are in that free fall now, terrified, yet becoming everything heaven designed you to be. The wind that feels like opposition is actually carrying you higher, and sometimes the final test isn't external at all. It's internal, the quiet wrestling in your thoughts, the temptation to doubt your worth, to compare your journey, to quit too early. But you must remember, the enemy only attacks what threatens him. If your resistance is strong, it's because your reward is near. In this season, You will notice opposition intensifying right before favor arrives. Don't panic. Pressure means progress. The darkness grows loudest when it knows the light is about to break. Hold your peace. Even when you can't see the outcome, the fire doesn't destroy the gold, it defines it. You are that gold, being refined until your reflection matches his. When you pass this test, and you will, you'll find yourself stronger, softer, and sharper all at once. The fire you're walking through will one day become the light you carry for others. Now take a deep breath. Feel the resistance around you. It's real, but it's not permanent. Every battle ends. Every storm breaks. And yours is breaking, even now. When you reach the end of this section, don't let the message just sit in your mind. Anchor it in your spirit. Declare that you're still standing. Let heaven hear it. Comment 888 below, because in Scripture, the number 8 represents new beginnings. It's your prophetic act of saying, I've survived the resistance, and I'm stepping into renewal. Type it once, not as ritual, but as recognition. You've made it through the hardest part. The test is almost over. The light is rising, and soon, the resistance you're feeling will reveal itself as the very force that lifted you into victory. When you comment 888, it isn't superstition, it's agreement. You're marking this exact moment in time as the line between endurance and elevation. It's not about numbers, it's about acknowledgement, your spirit saying, I know what this season meant. Every time someone stands after being tested, heaven records it. You've stood, you've endured, and now you're ready to rise into what was always waiting for you. When heaven goes quiet, it's easy to mistake it for absence. You pray, and no answer comes. You listen, and all you hear is the echo of your own voice. Yet what you call silence, heaven calls strategy. In the unseen realm, silence is not empty, it's active. It's the space where God rearranges the pieces you can't yet see. This is the season when silence speaks loudest. It's where faith learns to hear what words cannot say. There's a holy language hidden inside quiet moments. Only those who've endured the stillness long enough begin to understand it. Think about the ocean before dawn. No waves crash. No wind stirs. It looks lifeless. But beneath that calm surface, tides are shifting. Currents are building strength, preparing for the morning. That's what heaven's silence feels like. Motion disguised as stillness. You may be wondering why your prayers echo back to you unanswered. But silence doesn't mean heaven ignored you. It means heaven is incubating your request. Every delay is a layer of preparation. The longer the silence, the deeper the work. There was once a woman, another chosen one, who prayed for reconciliation with her estranged sister. For 2 years, not a single word passed between them. Every night she prayed. Every morning she woke to more silence. But one day, a letter arrived written in her sister's handwriting. Inside were the words, I've been thinking about you every day. I just didn't know how to start. The silence had not been rejection. It had been healing in progress on both sides. The same thing is happening for you. Heaven's silence is not punishment. It's participation in the process. While you wait, God is working in places you can't reach, preparing hearts, aligning paths, softening edges. Silence is where miracles are built. According to what is revealed in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time, it speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." You may not hear anything now, but that doesn't mean heaven has gone still. When a seed is planted, it disappears beneath the soil. There's no sound, no movement visible to the eye, but inside the darkness, something holy is breaking open. That's the kind of silence. You're in an underground resurrection. Sometimes, silence is mercy. If you heard every plan heaven was forming, you might rush ahead of it. God keeps some things quiet to protect you from acting too soon. The pause is His kindness, ensuring that when the door opens, you'll be ready to walk through it without hesitation or fear. Listen differently in this season. Silence doesn't only mean wait. Sometimes it means watch. Look for the small signs, a calm in your spirit, a dream that feels heavier with meaning, a verse that lingers in your mind longer than usual. These are the ways heaven speaks when words are too fragile. When the heavens quieted over Job, he thought God had abandoned him. Yet in that stillness, God was preparing to speak out of the whirlwind. When Elijah heard no thunder, nor fire, nor earthquake, the presence came in a whisper. Heaven's volume isn't measured in decibels, it's measured in discernment. So, if all seems silent, it's because heaven is speaking in a different key. This key demands your stillness. Faith isn't only found in motion, it's proven in rest. Trust doesn't always look like marching. Sometimes it looks like staying. Let the silence train your spirit. Learn to listen for peace instead of answers. When your heart feels a sudden calm where chaos once lived, that's heaven speaking louder than any word could. The great secret of silence is that it never lasts forever. Every divine quiet has a breaking point. And when it breaks, revelation floods in like sunrise over water. You'll understand then that heaven wasn't ignoring you, it was preparing you to hear clearly. There will come a day when you'll look back and thank God for the unanswered prayers, for the quiet months, for the seasons of stillness that stretched your faith. You'll see that without them, you wouldn't have grown the capacity to hold what's now being given. The silence is holy ground. Don't rush to fill it. Don't interpret it as absence. Sit with it, and you'll hear its rhythm. Silence is God's way of tuning your heart to His voice. So, when He finally speaks, you won't miss a word. And when that word finally comes, you'll know why heaven had to go silent first. It was never distance, it was design. There comes a moment when everything hidden begins to make sense, the moment when light breaks through and you finally understand why the path had to twist, why doors closed, why silence lingered. This is the moment of revelation. It doesn't arrive with noise or spectacle. It comes like sunrise, soft, unstoppable, and full of clarity. You've been walking through a long night, guided only by faith's dim lantern. But now, as the first rays of understanding touch your spirit, you begin to see what heaven was doing all along. Every delay was direction. Every detour was protection. Every disappointment was a quiet realignment toward your true purpose. There's a sacred beauty in hindsight, the kind that humbles you. When revelation comes, you don't just feel relieved, you feel in awe. You realize that what you called rejection was actually redirection. You see that God was not withholding good things from you. He was guarding great ones for you. A man once told his story, a chosen one who had built his entire future around a partnership that collapsed without warning. For months, he grieved what he thought was failure. Yet that collapse pushed him to start something of his own. The business he founded later became the very place where others found healing and employment. When revelation came, he said, "If that door hadn't slammed shut, I would have never discovered the one built just for me." End of tree. That's how revelation works. It shows you that heaven never wastes heartbreak. Every wound carried wisdom inside it, waiting for the right moment to speak. According to the sacred writings in the book of Hosea, chapter 6, verse 3, "Let us acknowledge the Lord, let us press on to acknowledge him. As surely as the sun rises, he will appear. He will come to us like the winter rains, like the spring rains that water the earth." And revelation always follows perseverance. When you refuse to quit, even when nothing makes sense, the curtain eventually lifts. You begin to see that God was never trying to confuse you. He was trying to prepare you. You couldn't understand before because your heart wasn't ready to hold the weight of the truth. When the veil lifts, it feels like breathing for the first time after holding your breath too long. The tension breaks, the questions soften, and a strange peace fills the gaps where anxiety used to live. That peace is revelation's first sign. Revelation isn't always about answers, it's about alignment. Sometimes you don't need an explanation, you need perspective. And when that arrives, you stop asking, "Why me?" and start whispering, "Now I see." It's like standing on a mountain after years of climbing through fog. You finally look down and trace the path that once felt aimless. Every sharp turn, every detour, every painful incline now forms a perfect pattern, leading exactly where you stand. Many people crave miracles, but revelation is the higher gift. Miracles change situations. Revelation changes you. It teaches you to see differently, to walk with discernment, to understand that even storms obey divine timing. In revelation, gratitude returns. The pain that once defined you now refines you. The waiting that once exhausted you now proves you were chosen for endurance. You begin to thank God, not just for what He gave, but for what He withheld. Revelation humbles and strengthens you at once. It teaches you that understanding is not owed, it's entrusted. Heaven doesn't reveal truth to the hurried, but to the faithful. The quiet ones who kept walking when the map made no sense are the ones who now see clearly. So when understanding begins to dawn, don't rush past it. Sit with it. Let it soak into your spirit like light, through stained glass coloring everything you see from now on. Sometimes revelation doesn't come as a voice from the clouds, but as a memory that suddenly glows with new meaning. A conversation you dismissed now carries weight. A mistake you regretted now shines with hidden mercy. And when you look back on the path behind you, you'll realize something beautiful. Nothing was wasted. Not one tear. Not one silent night. Every moment was part of the masterpiece, now unfolding before your eyes. The moment of revelation is the meeting point between heaven's design and your understanding. It's where confusion turns into clarity, and faith becomes sight. Let this truth settle deep inside you. You were never wandering, you were being woven. And now, the pattern is finally visible. Revelation is the gentle hand pulling back the curtain, showing you that destiny was never delayed, only developing. Now, you finally see it. Every step, even the painful ones, led perfectly here. When heaven begins to echo through patterns and moments, you've stepped into the prophetic confirmation, that sacred season when invisible truth starts showing itself through visible repetition. It's the realm where heaven and earth seem to whisper the same message from different directions until your spirit finally recognizes the voice. Lately, you might have sensed this unfolding around you. A phrase that keeps returning in conversation. A verse that surfaces again and again. Dreams that repeat. Songs that seem to follow you. These are not coincidences. They're divine breadcrumbs. The Father does not repeat himself for entertainment. He does it for emphasis, ensuring the message lodges deep enough that you cannot unhear it. There was once a chosen one named Alina who doubted her purpose. She had prayed, fasted, and still felt nothing. One morning, while walking to work, she saw the same word written in 3 different places on a billboard. A passing bus, and a stranger's t-shirt, build. That evening, her mentor called unexpectedly and said, "Alina, God says it's time to build what he placed in your spirit." She fell to her knees. What looked like repetition was revelation disguised as routine. The voice of God thundered in the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 7. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. He knows those who trust in him. That verse isn't random, it's reminder. Heaven confirms not only your direction, but your identity. God doesn't just reveal where you're going, he reaffirms who you are as you go. Each sign is his way of saying, I still see you. I still know you. Keep trusting me. End of. Prophetic confirmation is often quiet but precise. It lands in your spirit like a note perfectly tuned. The repetition is heaven's rhythm, syncing with your heartbeat. When you catch it, you realize that faith isn't about guessing, it's about recognizing alignment. Think of it like walking through a forest at dusk. You can't see far ahead, but you keep hearing the same distant song of a bird. Each time it calls, you adjust your direction toward the sound. That's how prophetic confirmation works. Heaven zings, your spirit follows. You might see patterns in time, waking up at the same hour, nightly, or in words spoken over you more than once. Don't brush them away as superstition. Ask instead, Lord, what are you showing me through this repetition? Confirmation isn't meant to fascinate, it's meant to guide. Even the ancient prophets needed signs to strengthen their faith. Gideon laid out his fleece. Elijah watched for the rain cloud. And Mary pondered words, repeated by angels and shepherds alike. Heaven has always been patient with human hearts that need reassurance. But notice this, prophetic confirmation never contradicts God's peace. When a message feels heavy, manipulative, or rushed, it's not divine, it's distortion. True confirmation aligns with love and stability. It never shouts, hurry. It whispers, hold steady. I quote, Alina said that after those repeated signs, her fear vanished. The same word that once confused her became her compass. She didn't need another miracle. She just needed confidence in the pattern already present. And perhaps that's you. You're surrounded by small confirmations. And heaven is gently asking, will you trust what you already know? Prophetic confirmation is the closing argument before manifestation. It's heaven's way of saying, the case is settled. Now act. You don't need another signal. You need courage to move with the ones you've received. So when that awareness rises in you, Don't shrug it off. Let it anchor your faith. Speak agreement into the atmosphere. Comment, "I understand now." It's more than a sentence. It's surrender and clarity woven together. You're not demanding new signs. You're acknowledging the ones already sent. You're saying, "Lord, I see the pattern. I trust the plan. I understand what you've been showing me." No, that declaration opens the next door. Heaven always moves when understanding becomes obedience. And once you truly understand, the signs will stop repeating because they've already done their job. When you write, "I understand now," heaven reads it as more than acknowledgement. It's acceptance. You're stepping from confusion into comprehension, from asking why to declaring yes. That shift invites divine momentum into your path. Understanding isn't about knowing every detail, it's about trusting the one who does. The moment you grasp that truth, anxiety loses its grip. Heaven sees that your heart is ready to walk without constant reassurance. From this point on, the signs will lessen. Not because heaven stopped speaking, but because you've finally learned its language. And once fluency is reached, confirmation becomes communion. There comes a time when the waiting ends not with noise, but with a gentle unlocking. This is the door swinging open. After so many days of knocking, after so many nights of wondering if anyone was on the other side, you finally hear the sound, the latch turning, the hinge releasing, the still air shifting. Heaven moves quietly. But when it moves, everything changes. This is the moment your perseverance meets divine permission. What was once sealed now opens at the slightest touch, not because you forced it, but because the time has finally arrived. The lock didn't respond to effort, it responded to alignment. Imagine standing in a long corridor filled with closed doors. For years, you've tried handle after handle, each one stiff, immovable. But one day, you approach another, not with frustration, but with calm expectancy. You turn the knob, and it opens effortlessly. That's the difference between striving and timing. When heaven says, "Now," resistance dissolves. There was a woman, a chosen one, named Erie, who prayed for her family to heal. Years of tension kept everyone divided. Then one afternoon, without planning, her brother called. The same day, her mother invited everyone to dinner. The door opened, not through strategy, but through grace. Erie said later, "It felt like God just exhaled over my family." That's what open doors feel like. Divine breath replacing human effort. The prophet Isaiah once recorded these words in chapter 22, verse 22. "What he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open." That verse is not just poetry, it's spiritual physics. Heaven's openings cannot be undone. When God releases favor, it doesn't flicker like a candle, it burns steady like the sun. But here's something few understand. When doors open, you must walk through them differently. No rushing, no boasting, no fear. You step gently, honoring the silence that preceded the sound. The open door is sacred ground. It represents everything your faith built in the dark. Maybe you've sensed one unlocking lately, a conversation that suddenly aligns, an idea that won't leave your heart, a path you didn't plan yet feels strangely prepared. That's how divine openings begin, quietly, naturally, with peace wrapping around every step. And as you stand before your open door, let me share something softly. If this message finds you at the threshold of a new beginning, take a moment to breathe gratitude into it, because gratitude is the key that keeps doors open longer. A simple like is not about algorithm, it's acknowledgement. It's your way of saying, I hear this. I recognize this season. It's the small tap of gratitude that ripples farther than you imagine. A gentle share is like handing a spare key to someone else who's still standing in the hallway. You never know whose faith will reignite because you shared what unlocked yours. A quiet subscribe is a way of continuing the walk together. It's placing your name among those who choose to grow in the same flow of divine messages. Like a traveler joining a caravan across a vast desert, it says, I'm walking with this light until we reach the next horizon. And if your heart ever stirs toward generosity, to donate, let it come as naturally as breath. See it not as payment. But participation. Imagine adding a single brick to a lighthouse. Each gift, no matter how small, extends the beam a little farther across the sea. Somewhere out there, a ship lost in darkness will find its way home because the light stayed on. That's what generosity does. It doesn't buy miracles, it sustains them. It keeps hope burning long enough for someone else to see their door swing open too. Erie said that after her family reconciled, she felt a quiet urge to give back, to sow into the same kind of messages that had carried her through hard seasons. She said, it wasn't about money. It was my way of saying thank you to the light that never gave up on me. That's the purest form of giving. Gratitude turned into fuel for another's faith. So whatever you feel, whether it's to like, share, subscribe, or quietly donate, let it be born from peace, not pressure. You owe nothing. You're simply invited to keep the current of light flowing. Every act of participation, no matter how small, becomes part of this living stream of hope. And as you do, remember this: open doors are not destinations, they are beginnings. When you walk through yours, others will notice and follow. Your courage becomes their confirmation. Step through gently, with gratitude and faith. Heaven didn't open this door by accident. It opened it for you, right on time. There is a fire that doesn't destroy, but refines, a holy flame that proves what is pure and burns away what is false. This is being crowned by fire. It is not a punishment, but an anointing through pressure. You don't receive this crown by comfort, you receive it by endurance. The crown of glory is always shaped in the furnace first. You've felt the heat, haven't you? The sharp moments when life pressed too close, when people misunderstood you, when your patience wore thin, and you wondered why things had to hurt this much. Yet, even in those moments, something deeper was being formed. Heaven doesn't waste the fire, it uses it to reveal the gold hidden beneath the surface. A blacksmith never forges a crown in cool air. The metal must first glow. That's how the Father works with His chosen. He allows the heat, not to harm, but to shape. The intensity you've faced has been Heaven's way of purifying your purpose. There once was a chosen one named Elias. His life was a series of tests, losses, disappointments, betrayals. One day, after his business collapsed, he asked God, "Why would you let everything fall apart?" Months later, while volunteering at a shelter, Elias met a man who said, "You gave me hope when you spoke today. I was about to end everything." At that moment, Elias realized the truth. His fire had birthed compassion. The pain that once burned him was now the light guiding others. The sacred writings in the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, declare, "I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, 'They are my people.' And they will say, 'The Lord is our God.'" And that's what it means to be crowned by fire. The refining doesn't remove you from your calling, it qualifies you for it. When you come through the flames, your faith no longer flickers at every wind. It becomes steady, seasoned, and strong. You see, there are two kinds of crowns in the kingdom, those made for display and those forged for endurance. The first shines for a moment, the second shines forever. Heaven doesn't crown polished perfection, it crowns proven persistence. The fire exposes everything false, false motives, false confidence, false attachments. It strips away the unnecessary so that what remains is unshakable. And when all else falls, what stands is truth, and that truth is what the crown rests upon. The irony of divine fire is that the closer you get to it, the more you resemble the light itself. Your edges soften, your pride melts, your heart glows. The fire does not change your identity, it reveals it. Every chosen one must walk through this furnace at least once. It's where purity replaces pretense. It's where you stop performing faith and start living it. The applause of others fades, but the voice of God grows louder. Do not despise your flames. Every tear shed in them waters your future harvest. Every loss endured within them becomes the proof that your faith was real. When you emerge, you won't be the same. You'll carry a quiet authority that can't be taught, only earned through endurance. Elias later said, "The fire didn't burn me, it branded me." That's the essence of the crown, marking you as one who has been through the refining and still chosen to love, still chosen to serve, still chosen to hope. And this is what few understand. Your glow doesn't come from escaping the heat, it comes from surviving it. People will look at you and call it confidence, but heaven will call it refinement. Sometimes, fire isolates you so that recognition can't reach too soon. The refining place is sacred because it's quiet. God speaks clearest in the furnace. When distractions melt and the heart stands bare, one day, you'll look back on this fiery chapter and whisper, "Thank you," not because it was easy, but because it proved who you are. You'll see that every heartbreak polished your empathy. Every hardship expanded your grace. Every loss purified your love. The fire you faced is your coronation ceremony. You are being crowned, not despite the flames, but through them. This crown doesn't glitter, it glows. It carries the warmth of perseverance and the brilliance of surrender. So stand tall in the flame. Don't rush to escape it. Let it complete its work until your faith shines like gold, refined 7 times over. Because when the fire ends, and it will, you will not just survive. You will emerge radiant, wearing the invisible crown that only the refined can bear. The moment you've been hidden for begins quietly. It doesn't arrive with applause or spotlight. It unfolds like dawn after a long night. This is the public unveiling. When what God shaped in private finally begins to show in public, it's the moment heaven says, "Now, let them see what I've been building in you." You've walked through seasons of obscurity, where no one understood your effort, where you gave more than you received, where your faith felt invisible. But hidden seasons were never punishment, they were protection. Seeds always grow underground first. And now, chosen one, the soil is cracking open. What you've carried in silence is about to rise into sight. The purpose, the talent, the healing, all of it will begin to bloom before eyes that once doubted you. But this isn't your doing, it's heaven's timing. There's a story about a man named Jonah, not the prophet, but a modern chosen one. He worked for years behind the scenes in a small community project. No recognition, no funding, just faith. People mocked his persistence. Then, one day, a major organization discovered his work online and offered full support. Overnight, everything changed. But Jonah said something profound. It looked like a sudden miracle. But I've been living this process for years. No, that's what unveiling feels like. Sudden to the world, steady to heaven. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Haggai. Chapter 2, verse 9. The glory of this present house will be greater than the glory of the former house, declares the Lord Almighty, and in this place I will grant peace. That verse holds your prophecy. What's coming will outshine what was. You are not returning to who you were before. You're rising into who you were meant to be. Unveiling doesn't mean ego, it means evidence. Heaven uses your visible rise as testimony for others still hidden. You become a living letter, proof that the process was worth it. When God unveils someone, He doesn't just showcase achievement, He reveals character. The waiting shaped your humility. The pain built your empathy, and the silence anchored your discernment. Without those, visibility would have crushed you. But now, your foundation is deep enough to hold recognition without losing purpose. Be mindful. Though, public unveiling comes with its own tests. With every elevation comes observation. People will watch, question, even critique, but your assignment is not to explain, it's to embody. Let your consistency answer what words never could. Your unveiling isn't only for you, it's for those who lost hope, watching you wait. Your glow becomes their guide. The same way a sunrise doesn't boast it, simply shines, so will your season of revelation unfold. There will be whispers. How did it happen so fast? But heaven knows it wasn't fast, it was faithful. The hours you spent sowing in tears have now turned into a harvest of joy. Sometimes, God hides His greatest works until the world is ready to receive them. That's why it felt like you were forgotten. But you were not. You were preserved. What felt like a pause was heaven keeping you fresh for the right moment. Now, as this unveiling begins, remember what you learned in obscurity, to move slowly, to stay humble, to keep listening. Visibility is not victory, it's responsibility. The light shining on you now is not for decoration but direction. It's meant to help others see the path behind you more clearly. Jonah later said, "The moment God lifted me, I realized He wasn't rewarding my effort, He was revealing His faithfulness." That's revelation. It's never about showcasing you, it's about magnifying Him through you. You'll start to feel it, opportunities aligning, recognition arriving, favor flowing. Don't shrink from it. Step into it quietly, like a priest entering holy ground. This unveiling isn't vanity, it's divine visibility. And as you recognize this shift, seal it with a declaration. Comment 9,999. It's a prophetic act, symbolizing completion and transition. the end of hiddenness and the dawn of manifestation. It's not superstition, it's symbolism. You're saying, I've finished my season of silence, and I'm ready for my revealing. No, type it once, gently, as an offering of faith. The number won't open doors your endurance already did. It's just your way of saying, I see what heaven is doing, and I agree. No, you are stepping into sight not for applause, but for assignment. The world is about to witness what heaven already knew. You were ready all along. When you write 9,999, you're not invoking luck, you're acknowledging completion. It's your spirit saying, I've endured the unseen work, and I trust what's next. That declaration seals your transition with gratitude. You're not chasing visibility, you're aligning with divine timing. The unveiling is already happening. Your 9,999 is simply your yes to heaven's reveal. There is a quiet justice written into the rhythm of heaven. Nothing done against you escapes the gaze of the one who sees all. This is the season when enemies become witnesses, when those who mocked your struggle must watch your rising. It's not vengeance, it's vindication. It's heaven balancing the scales without you lifting a hand. You've endured slander, misunderstanding, rejection, and silence. At times, it felt like every voice was against you. You tried to defend yourself, but the more you spoke, the more distorted the story became. So eventually, you stopped fighting. That moment of surrender wasn't weakness, it was wisdom. Because God never called you to prove your innocence. He called you to live it. And now, the same eyes that watched you fall will watch you rise. The same voices that whispered about your downfall will have no choice but to acknowledge your growth. Not because you retaliated, but because your transformation will speak louder than their words ever could. There was once a chosen one named Mira, who faced betrayal from her closest friend. Lee spread. Opportunities closed. Her reputation crumbled. For years, she stayed silent, working quietly while others talked. Then, one day, the very person who had spoken against her reached out in tears, asking for forgiveness. I don't know why I did it. The woman said, but your peace broke me more than any argument could. Mira forgave her, and at that moment, she understood. Heaven doesn't humiliate enemies, it heals through revelation. The ancient writings in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 7, declare, when a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. That's divine mathematics. You don't have to manipulate outcomes. When your heart stays aligned with heaven, peace becomes your defense. Your character does what your words never could. When enemies become witnesses, it doesn't always look like apologies or reconciliation. Sometimes, it's simply their silence, the moment they can no longer deny the evidence of your growth. They see that the hand of God has marked you, and even if pride keeps their lips closed, their hearts whisper, I was wrong. You see, your rise is not about revenge, it's about revelation. God uses your breakthrough as a living sermon, preached not with words, but with fruit. People may resist your message, but they can't argue with your results. The temptation in this season will be to look back, to prove something to those who doubted you. But resist that urge. The throne of your calling has no room for old battles. You've already won by rising. Let grace finish what truth has already started. Sometimes, the most powerful answer is to remain kind when recognition arrives, the same way Joseph treated his brothers when they bowed before him. Not with bitterness, but with blessing. He understood that their betrayal was necessary for his positioning. Without their cruelty, Egypt would have never opened its gates to him. That's the secret. Heaven teaches the chosen. Every Judas still leads you closer to destiny. Every false friend still sharpens your discernment. Every unfair season still prepares your heart for stewardship. When your enemies watch your rise, some will feel conviction, others will feel confusion. But either way, they will see the truth, that favor doesn't come through manipulation, but through mercy. And maybe that's why God told you to stay quiet when you wanted to defend yourself, because vindication spoken by your mouth would have been temporary. But vindication revealed by your life will echo for eternity. The same people who once questioned your authenticity will one day quote your wisdom. The same ones who left you in the valley will seek your guidance from the mountain. That's what it means when enemies turn to witnesses. They become evidence that grace works. But remember, witnessing your rise doesn't mean joining it. Some will watch from a distance, learning from the light without touching it. And that's fine. Your goal isn't to change them, it's to stay changed. Mira said later, "When I forgave her, I didn't set her free, I set myself free." That's the real miracle. The heart unshackled by resentment shines brighter than any crown. Forgiveness is the victory few notice, but heaven celebrates the loudest. Let this be your comfort. God wastes no wound. Every betrayal becomes a bridge. Every insult, a stepping stone. Every rejection, a redirection. Those who once laughed will learn, and those who once doubted will see. Your story will preach where your words no longer need to. The fire you endured purified you. The rise you're living glorifies Him. And through it all, peace remains your witness. So walk forward with quiet dignity. Let love be the sound that follows your footsteps. Because when enemies become witnesses, the lesson isn't about triumph, it's about transformation. Once heaven begins to reveal and vindicate, something extraordinary happens next. Momentum. The season shifts from steady progress to acceleration. What once took months begins to unfold in days. The gears of destiny start turning faster. Not by human will, but by divine propulsion. It's not chaos, it's catching up. Heaven is aligning time to fulfill everything spoken over you. You may feel it already, the subtle sense that life is moving quicker. Doors open before you knock. People appear before you call. Opportunities meet you halfway. It's as if the years of delay suddenly gather speed to make up for what was lost. This is no illusion. It's acceleration by grace. Acceleration doesn't mean hurry. It means alignment. It's the moment when your effort meets heaven's wind, and what you once dragged uphill now begins to glide. You don't have to push the cart anymore. The slope of destiny carries it forward. There was once a chosen one named Kai. For years, his plans moved painfully slow. He studied, prepared, worked quietly. Then, almost overnight, invitation came. Ideas flourished, and everything he'd sown began to sprout simultaneously. Kai said, "It felt like the world finally caught up with what God whispered long ago." That's what acceleration feels like, the divine timeline syncing with your obedience. The prophet Habakkuk wrote in chapter 1, Verse 5. Look at the nations and watch and be utterly amazed. For I am going to do something in your days that you would not believe, even if you were told. Acceleration always carries surprise. It humbles you, because you realize how small your plans were compared to God's imagination. You see that waiting was never wasted, it was loading. Every quiet year was a year of preparation, storing momentum like an arrow pulled back before release. When acceleration arrives, it often feels disorienting. After living so long in slowness, speed can almost feel wrong. You might question if it's real, if it will last. But it's real, and it will last as long as your humility does. The faster the wind, the lower the kite must bow to stay in flight. This new pace demands discernment. Not every open door is yours to walk through. When momentum increases, so does distraction. That's why humility becomes your anchor. It keeps your heart grounded while everything around you rises. Acceleration also reveals the strength of your foundation. If you built on faith, the speed will lift you. If you built on ego, it will break you. That's why heaven delayed before, so your roots could deepen enough to hold what's now growing. Think of a tree that spends years invisible, pushing roots deep into the soil. Then, suddenly, it shoots up in a single season, towering overnight. People call it rapid growth. But the tree knows it was never rapid. It was just ready. You are that tree. What looks like speed is simply maturity made visible during acceleration. Relationships may shift too. Some will celebrate. Others will distance. Don't take either personally. Speed changes visibility. And not everyone can run at your new pace. Some were meant for the building phase, not the flying one. Bless them as they step aside. Kai learned this too. When success came, he tried to bring everyone with him. But some couldn't handle the pace. I had to realize, he said, not everyone is called to the same altitude. The faster you move, the more you must travel. Light, carry purpose, not people's approval. Heavenly acceleration is never random. It carries rhythm. When it comes, flow with it. But don't lose the stillness within. The outside world may spin, but your soul must remain centered. Peace is the steering wheel that keeps speed from turning into chaos. You'll find that in acceleration, you accomplish in 1 year what used to take 5. The difference isn't effort, it's orchestration. Heaven starts coordinating details beyond your reach. One connection here, one idea there, one moment of timing, and suddenly everything intertwines perfectly. And yet, even in this rapid rise, remember, acceleration is not the reward. It's the responsibility. You've been trusted with pace because you proved faithful in patience. Heaven speeds up only when your heart has slowed down enough to stay humble. The world will call it luck. Heaven calls it due time. What was once crawling now runs. Not because you chased harder, but because grace carried stronger. So, step lightly, breathe deeply, and move with reverence. The current of destiny is swift but steady, designed to carry you exactly where you belong. The years the locusts devoured are being restored in a rush. What you thought was lost, time is coming back, multiplied. You've entered the season where heaven accelerates fulfillment. Stay centered, stay grateful, and let grace do the driving. When one chosen one rises, heaven begins to awaken others. The light in a single heart has the power to ignite flames in thousands more. This is the gathering of the chosen, the rising together. It's not a movement born from ambition, but from alignment. You were never meant to walk alone. You were meant to move in rhythm with others who carry the same divine fire. You've felt it lately, that pull toward connection, that awareness that somewhere out there, people understand your language without you needing to explain. You are part of a celestial network, woven through time and purpose. Each soul carries a spark. Together, you form a constellation of light that terrifies darkness. The Apostle Paul once wrote in his first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 27, "Now you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is a part of it." That truth is more than doctrine, it's design. No chosen one shines alone for long. The world doesn't need isolated flames. It needs a wildfire of awakened souls moving as one heartbeat. You've walked your path through silence and struggle, but now heaven is orchestrating connections. People will appear who reflect your growth, who speak destiny into you instead of doubt. These encounters aren't chance, they're divine collisions, souls finding each other at the exact frequency of purpose. There was once a young woman named Lena. She'd been watching messages like this for years, always quietly, never commenting, never speaking. She said she felt too small to matter. But one evening, she met another listener by coincidence, and they shared stories of faith and endurance. That connection sparked something new. Lena began volunteering, creating a small online circle of encouragement that reached hundreds within months. She said, all it took was one voice saying, "You belong with us." That's what it means when the chosen rise together. One voice awakens another, until silence itself becomes praise. You don't even need to shout. The harmony of shared hope is powerful enough to echo through generations. This is your time to lift others as you rise. Each story you carry, each scar that glows, is a torch meant to guide someone else out of the dark. The rising of the chosen is not competition, it's collaboration. We climb higher by lifting each other. And if this message touches something inside you, let your response be an act of light. A simple like is not a button, it's a heartbeat saying, "I'm here, I see this, and I'm part of this flame." Now, a share is a ripple across still water. When you pass this forward, it travels far beyond sight, landing softly in hearts that need it most. Somewhere, someone waiting for a sign will find it through you. When you comment, it's not noise, it's participation. Each word is a spark joining the collective glow. Write what rises in your spirit. Your sentence may be the seed of courage for someone else. And a quiet subscribe is not about staying updated, it's about staying connected. It's like marking your place in the circle of fire, ensuring that when new light rises, you'll feel its warmth too. If, as you listen, your heart whispers the desire to donate, let it come from joy, not obligation. Think of it as tending a campfire. Every small branch added keeps the flames alive for those still walking through their night. What you give is not lost. It becomes warmth shared among countless souls who needed that glow to keep believing. This movement, this whispering army of the awakened, is built not on pressure, but on purpose. No one is forced to give light. We simply can't help but shine. Lena said later, "I used to think my little flame didn't matter. Now I see it was never little. It just needed others to burn beside it. That's the essence of rising together. The more we connect, the brighter the horizon becomes. So, wherever you are, know this: your faith is part of something larger than you can see. When your light joins the lights of others, the night retreats a little farther. Together, we are the answer to the prayers we once whispered alone. The chosen don't rise for applause. They rise for awakening, for healing, for the silent ones still watching, waiting for proof that hope survives. Let this be your gentle reminder. You are part of a holy chain of light stretching across time, and every action, whether it's a click, a word, a small offering, or a silent prayer, adds one more link that heaven uses to pull the world closer to redemption. We rise together, not to be seen, but to help others see. Glory carries weight. When victory finally arrives, it does not come as light and effortless as people imagine. It comes with gravity, with a sacred heaviness that reminds you, this is not just a reward. It is a responsibility. This is the weight of victory. You've crossed the storm, survived the fire, passed the test, and now, heaven places something precious into your hands. But the same hand that crowns must also strengthen, for what you carry now requires care. Success in the kingdom is not about shining, it's about stewardship. Every chosen one eventually discovers that glory is not glitter, it's gold dense, costly, refined. The applause fades quickly, but purpose stays, whispering, now that you've been trusted with more, what will you do with it? The Word of God in the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 48, declares, from everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded, and from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked. That is the heart of this stage. You are no longer the one asking for opportunity. You are the one others look to for direction. You are the answer to prayers you once prayed. And though the crown fits perfectly, its weight reminds you that every blessing carries an echo of responsibility. After the noise of triumph fades, you'll notice something quiet returning. Reflection. The heart asks, how do I protect what I've been given? This is where humility becomes your armor. Pride cannot carry glory. It leaks under pressure, but humility seals it. There was a chosen one named Theo who finally achieved everything he'd prayed for: recognition, stability, peace. But instead of celebration, he felt an unexpected heaviness. He prayed, Lord, I thought victory would feel lighter, and heaven whispered, it's light to me, but I'm trusting you to hold it. That day, Theo learned that victory's weight was not meant to crush, it was meant to anchor. Every elevation demands deeper roots. The higher the branch reaches, the stronger the trunk must become. This is why the victorious often feel isolated again after success. It's not punishment, it's recalibration. The same God who hid you to prepare you now hides you again to preserve you. In the quiet after breakthrough, God often teaches the discipline of stillness. Not every door needs to be walked through. Not every opportunity must be accepted. When victory multiplies, discernment becomes your best friend. What once was fought for now must be protected. The weight of victory also changes how you see others. The same compassion that carried you through hardship now calls you to lift those still walking. You remember the feeling of being unseen, and so you choose to see. That's what makes you different. You wear your crown not as a symbol of superiority, but as a reminder of service. Think of Moses after the Red Sea parted. The miracle had already happened, but his work was only beginning. Freedom is easier to receive than to sustain. The same hands that lifted the staff must now guide the people. Victory is not the end, it's the start of stewardship. Theo said later, "I realized the crown wasn't metal, it was mantle." That's the shift you experience too. You stop chasing approval and start carrying purpose. What you've been given is not just for display, it's for delivery. Sometimes, the weight of victory feels like exhaustion, but it's actually expansion. Heaven stretches your heart to make room for greater influence. You begin to feel others' pain more deeply, not less. You see beyond yourself, understanding that triumph without tenderness loses its light. In this new stage, protect your peace as fiercely as you once pursued your promise. Busyness can disguise itself as blessing, but not every open door leads to destiny. Learn to pause, to listen, to refill. Even the crown must rest upon a bowed head. The true mark of maturity isn't how loudly you celebrate, but how quietly you carry. The weight doesn't mean weakness, it means value. Heaven only places heavy things into strong hands, and you, chosen one, have proven strong enough to bear it. So walk humbly, speak gently, lead with grace. The victory belongs to you, but the glory belongs to the one who trusted you with it. Remember, crowns are not made for comfort, they're made for calling. Every victory you hold is a reminder that faith wasn't wasted, it was forged into purpose. Carry it with reverence, not rush, in quiet moments. Lift your eyes again. The same God who gave you victory will teach you how to serve through it. You have reached the summit, the place where everything finally makes sense. What once felt scattered now forms a clear pattern. Every detour, delay, and disappointment has led to this moment of understanding. This is the eternal win, not just the triumph you see in this life, but the victory that echoes beyond it. The eternal win is different from earthly success. Earthly victories fade with applause, but eternal ones grow deeper with time. This isn't about titles, trophies, or recognition. It's about the unshakable truth that you've become who you were created to be. It's the quiet knowledge that your obedience outlasted your pain. When heaven speaks of victory, it doesn't describe a finish line, it describes transformation. Every battle you've fought shaped something eternal inside you. Faith is never wasted, it's stored as glory. And glory doesn't just belong to a moment, it becomes part of you. You may not realize it yet, but every prayer you prayed in tears has become light, guiding someone else. Every act of forgiveness became a seed of mercy, growing in hearts you'll never meet. The eternal win isn't about what you receive, it's about what you release. According to the writings of the Apostle Paul in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 18, "So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." That verse defines this moment. The unseen has finally taken shape. You've been refined by fire, stretched by faith, lifted by grace, and steadied by trust. And now, even as life continues, something inside you has shifted permanently. The chosen one you were becoming has now arrived. Eternal victory isn't loud. It doesn't need validation. It lives quietly in your spirit, whispering peace, even when storms surround you. It's the smile that appears not because everything is perfect, but because everything has purpose. There's a story of an older man named Thomas. He had spent decades serving others, often unseen, often unthanked. Near the end of his life, someone asked him if he regretted never becoming rich or famous. He smiled and said, "I never wanted my name in lights. I wanted it written where rust can't reach." Thomas understood the eternal win. His legacy wasn't built on moments, it was built on meaning. You, too, are walking in that kind of victory. The eternal win is not something coming, it's something becoming within you. Every lesson, every test, every heartbreak refined you until heaven's reflection appeared in your life. And now, you live differently. You move with grace. Forgive faster, love deeper, and worry less. You've learned that the goal was never to escape hardship, it was to evolve through it. That is eternal living, to be unshaken by what changes, because your roots are anchored in what never does. This win is permanent, because it no longer depends on outcomes, it's built on identity. You are no longer the person striving for approval, you are the one standing in purpose. Heaven doesn't applaud, noise, it honors consistency, and you, through every season, remained faithful. The eternal win also carries peace, the kind that can't be stolen. Not because life has become easy, but because your heart has learned where to rest. You've stopped searching for validation and started breathing gratitude. Everything around you may still shift, but you no longer fear change. You've seen too much grace to doubt again. That calm confidence, that anchored faith, that's what eternal victory feels like. When others chase trophies, you chase truth. When others crave speed, you choose stillness. That's the mark of those who have truly won, the ones who don't need to prove anything anymore. Their existence itself becomes testimony. Thomas once said to his students, "Win in such a way that eternity remembers, not applause." That's what you've done. You've won in a way that heaven can't forget. So now, as this journey draws its final breath, pause. Look back not with regret, but with reverence. The path was never easy, but it was holy. Every mountain, every valley, every whisper of doubt, all of it was sacred. You didn't just survive, you transformed. You didn't just finish, you fulfilled. And that is the eternal win. When your story on earth becomes part of heaven's eternal song, you've reached the quiet triumph that never fades. The victory is no longer around you, it lives within you, pulsing like steady light that no darkness can extinguish. This is what heaven always intended, not applause, but alignment. You have become the living proof that love and faith never lose. And now, chosen one, the message has reached its final breath. You've walked through the stillness, the struggle, the fire, the waiting, and finally into victory that echoes beyond time. This isn't the end of your journey, it's the beginning of your becoming. The light that found you here isn't meant to stay contained, it's meant to spread. If these words have stirred something in your spirit, let that stirring become movement. A simple like is a whisper of agreement, a quiet nod to heaven that says, "I've heard, and I receive." When you share, it's more than a post, it's a seed of hope passed to someone who might be standing on the same cliff you once faced. You may never know whose faith is revived because you chose to pass light forward. Your comment matters more than you think. Every word you write carries the warmth of connection. Let your voice join the flow, right from the heart, not from habit. What you say might become the confirmation another soul prayed for tonight. And a gentle subscribe isn't about numbers. It's about staying aligned with the stream that keeps your spirit awake. It's an act of belonging, of saying, I choose to keep walking with this light. Now, if your heart ever whispers to donate, treat it as adding one small ember to a fire that never stops burning. Every contribution, tiny or great, helps this light travel farther, reaching those who still wait in the dark. It's not obligation, it's participation. You've been part of something divine. Carry the message. Guard your peace. Keep your flame alive. The story continues through you. Thank you for walking this sacred path. The chosen rise not once, but forever.